Hi, this is Mark with Circle of Dark Mother. Today we're going to talk about Lilith and self-initiation. If you like our content, please like and subscribe. It's easy clicks for you, but it means a lot to us. Thank you. So we're going to talk a little bit about self-initiation with Lilith. And in this video, we'll discuss initiation with Lilith. We'll cover a self-initiation with the goddess as described in my book, Embodying Lilith, a Gnostic Kabbalah of Lilith. I do want to say this ritual is, of course, not the only way to self-initiate. This is just an example of how you can create a bond with our Dark Mother. But if you have a different way or you're already linked to her, you don't need to do this. This is just an idea for those who have not. And you can build your own ritual in your own way. So the self-initiation ritual. For this ritual, you'll need 4 candles, 1 white, 1 black, 1 red, and 1 purple. You also need incense. Sandalwood, rose, or night queen are best, but you can pretty much use anything. And then you need an athame or some type of ritual knife. Have an altar in the center of the room with an image of Lilith on it. Now, that can be a statue, it can be a picture, it can be an object that makes you think of her. It could be an owl statue because that is associated with her. Put the athame on the altar before you start, and then when you're ready to start, pick it up. In the east, before you start, in the east, place a white candle. You can also add a clear quartz crystal if you want, but not needed. In the west, place a black candle. You can also add a smoky quartz crystal or obsidian. In the south, place a red candle. You can also add a rosy quartz crystal. In the north, place the purple candle. You can also add an amethyst crystal. Light the incense and the candles. Do east, then west, then south, then north. You're creating a circle and a crossroads with this method. Then you create the sphere. So you pick up the athame and you face the east and use the athame to outline an invoking pentagram and intone the words, Lilith, Lilith, Lilith. If you don't know how to do invoking pentagram, it's really you're doing a clockwise pentagram. So as you do the pentagram, as you create the star, you do it clockwise. Then turn and face the west and outline another invoking pentagram with the athame and intone Lilith, Lilith, Lilith. You can also use Agrat Bat Malat or just Agrat if you'd like, but I personally use Lilith. Turn and face the south and use the athame to outline an invoking pentagram and intone Lilith 2, Lilith 2, Lilith 2. Alternately, you can use Ardet Lily. She's, of course, a Sumerian entity related to Lilith. Again, you don't have to. I use Lilith 2. It's a lot easier to intone. Turn and face the north and use the athame to outline an invoking pentagram and intone Neama, Neama, Neama. Face the center and put the athame back on the altar and say the following. Lilith, daughter of the moon, I call you. Lilith, mother of darkness, I call you. Lilith, queen of night, I call you. I call you, Lilith, to be here with me. I come to you as your servant, as your child, asking you to come and be here with me. Then you dedicate to Lilith. Close your eyes and focus on your breathing as if you were in meditation. Give praise to Lilith and thank her for her presence. Listen to any messages she may have for you. When you're ready, say, Mother, Lilith, I truly desire to be one of your Lilin, if you identify as female, and say Lilu if you identify as male. I wish to embody you in heart, mind, and soul. Make me yours and of your purpose, so I may find enlightenment and liberation from the cycle of rebirth. Not so I may rest, but so I may come back in every generation to help the outcast and the marginalized to find their way as you have done since the beginning of time. I do want to say too, if you're non-binary and you don't want to use Lilin or Lilu, you can use both, or you can use Lilim with an M because that is both. And then say, make me yours and mark me for your ascension. This vow is not to be taken lightly. This is the vow to reincarnate until the cosmic cycle is over as a being who helps those who are alone to find their way in the world and in their spiritual life. This is very similar to what the Buddhists call the Bodhisattva vow. Once this is sealed, there's no going back. So you really need to be sure you want to do this. Then you close the the sphere. So thank you for your presence. I thank you for being my mother and queen. Pick up the athame and face the north and use the athame to outline a banishing pentagram. Banishing pentagrams are counterclockwise. And intone Neama, Neama, Neama. Face the south and use the athame to outline a banishing pentagram and intone Lilitu, Lilitu, Lilitu. If you used Ardent Lily to invoke, then you should also use that name as you close. Face the west and use the athame to outline a banishing pentagram and intone Lilith, Lilith, Lilith. Alternately, you can use Agrat Batmalat or Agrat. And again, if you did that to begin with, do that here too. Face the east and use the athame to outline a banishing pentagram and intone Lilith, Lilith, Lilith. Say, as is spoken, so it is done. And then you can extinguish the flame. That's the end of the ritual. And what you'll find is you may not feel anything right away, but I will guarantee you will probably have dreams or you will have things happen in your life over the next week. That's at least how it's worked for most people that I've talked to. If this is helpful for you, then great. If not, then use whatever you wish, or don't bind yourself to Lilith if that's not something you want to do. Thank you.